Hey, Alex, you ever been driving down a road on your way somewhere and you're trying to get there, but you just can't reach it? And you go for a while, you turn left, you turn right, and then all of a sudden there's nowhere to go.
Oh, that's a dead end.
Yes, yes. And this is also a dead end. Now, a dead end in the case of Dirt Nap City is a technology, a thing, a phrase, a ritual, tradition, something that people used to do, but they don't do anymore. And we haven't gone very far back in time yet. And I'm not going to go very back far back in time with this one because this one's kind of a modernish dead end. But I want to ask you: have you ever laid in bed and dreamed of the sea?
Of the sea.
Yeah, like the ocean.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, back in the 1800s, there was a guy named Neil Arnott, and he designed this thing called the hydrostatic bed. And it was actually not about sailors dreaming of the sea or landlubbers. It was really about invalids, and it was designed to prevent bed sores. And it was kind of like, now this is the 1800s, it's kind of like a bathtub. It was filled with water with a rubber top, and the water was cold, and they used it for a lot of medical purposes, but it was never really proven to do much for you. Well, fast forward 100 years to 1968, and then this student named Charlie Hall in San Francisco, he was a design student. He started experimenting with unconventional furniture fillings, and he decided to fill a mattress with water for his master thesis. This became a big, big thing on campus and in their class, and it got to be legendary. Well, they actually patented the waterbed in 1971, and it grew meteorically and then just went down, just like the .com days in the 90s and 2000s. This was the waterbed days. I mean, did you ever have a friend with a waterbed?
I lived with a guy who we had a house, and he had a king size waterbed. And
did he talk about it all the time?
No, but I had a twin mattress is all I had. I don't even know if I had a box spring. I just had a mattress. He had this king size waterbed, but the house dipped where it wouldn't have been safe for him to put the waterbed, like the way the elevation was. So he had to live in one part of the house where you went in the room and that's all it was just a bed. It was just like a small children's room. And then I, with my twin mattress, was in the primary bedroom.
Master bedroom.
Yeah, it was huge.
Wow, you kind of won with that one.
Well, did I? I mean, it was pretty. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a big room without anything to fill it. Is just a big empty room. But yeah, that's my memories of waterbeds. Is just going in this guy's room and having it just be the bed. But yeah, waterbeds are. I've never actually slept in one. I don't think.
I was about to ask you if you ever had. Did you at least lie in it just to see what it was like?
Yeah, and it made me nauseous.
Yeah, yeah. So I had a friend growing up named Matt, and Matt actually had a waterbed, like a queen size waterbed, but it was a weird thing. I guess this family had 5-6 kids, and several of the kids shared rooms. Well, he shared this queen size waterbed with his brother. Like the two of them shared a room, and they slept in this waterbed together. And this was in like 8th grade, high school kind of thing. Matt Brames. Did you ever know Matt Brames?
Mm-mm. Shout out though.
Yeah, shout out to Matt Brames. Anyway, he had a waterbed, and he talked about that thing all the time. And I want to say I might have, like, his brother was gone, and I think we did a sleepover at his house, and I felt like it was cold. It was very sloshy. Like every time one person moved, it would kind of move. And you're right with regard to part of the challenge of it is they were very heavy, right? Because that's a lot of water. And so if you don't have a perfectly flat surface for it and a perfectly flat foundation and a very strong foundation, you don't want to put these things on the second floor. As a matter of fact, there are some places where if you're renting a house, I think California is one of them, you can't actually have a waterbed like in a rental house because they're too dangerous. Leaks.
Yeah, imagine being in the top floor of like an apartment or a condo where you're sharing with somebody you don't know, and that thing springs a leak. I mean, that's thousands of,
Yeah.
or not probably hundreds of gallons of water, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, they were very, very popular in the 80s. And I have to say again, my friend Matt, that was like one of the things he was really proud of was the fact that he had this waterbed. And he talked about a lot of dates he had that he thought ended up in the waterbed, but I don't really think that happened. I think it was just him talking. Um, but there were these things like temperature control that you had to account for. So I think it had a heater to keep the water a little bit warmer. But believe it or not, waterbeds were waterbeds were actually um, up there with refrigerators in terms of something that would cost a lot for electricity. So if you had a waterbed and you were using this heater, it was very inefficient to heat all that water up and to keep it warm. And so, you'd end up paying, your refrigerator is generally your air conditioner and your refrigerator are your two biggest electric users. Waterbeds were right up there. So there was a cost associated with it.
Hmm. When they marketed these things, were they marketed like for sex? Or were they marketed, were they try to be straight about it and say, it's better, good for your back or you're good? Was that part of the appeal though?
I think it depended on who they were marketing to, of course. But yeah, I mean, that was the thing. That was the thing Matt would talk about and again, I don't really think he had a whole lot of experience in that department, but I think he liked to brag.
Shout out.
Now there were different types of waterbeds, but yes, I think some were supposed to make back problems better support for you. There was the free flow waterbed where the water just kind of slashed around. There was what they called the motion waterbed, and that one I think had little channels in it so that the water sloshed around, but not randomly. There were hard side waterbeds, which had hard sides. There was a waveless waterbed that had little baffles in it that kept the water from moving around. I mean, I think there were even some clear waterbeds with lights in them.
Where you could see the water. Wait, I don't understand the waveless one. Explain that to me again.
So the waveless waterbed had it wasn't just one big chamber. It had these lots of baffles in it to keep the water from flowing. I must imagine like sponges throughout the thing that would block the water from sloshing around.
Then what's the point? What are you feeling then?
So that you still get the support of the water, but if you're sleeping with somebody and you roll over, it doesn't go, because in my buddy Matt's bed, like I said, I believe I might have been the only one that he actually slept with in that bed. I don't know for sure.
Besides his brother.
But, besides his brother, that bed, when you rolled over in it, we spent a lot of time hanging out in his room because he was one of the first people to actually have a CD player on our street.
Oh, shout out to another episode.
Yeah. Go back and listen to our Dead Ends. Anyway, the waterbed is something that kind of started losing popularity. It took off in the 70s and 80s. I mean, you don't get anything more 70s than the waterbed. Mustache, a Camaro, and a waterbed, and a lava lamp. Yeah, those are the most 70 things ever. But I'll tell you what actually killed the waterbed more than anything else. Can you guess what it was? The technology?
Tempur-Pedic?
Memory foam.
Yeah.
Memory foam was one of those things that all of a sudden, without water, you could have that same, because memory foam, I think, does feel a lot like water. It kind of curves with your body versus having springs and a box spring. And you can have memory foam with a box spring too, but it's a different vibe than a waterbed. Now, what kind of bed do you currently sleep on?
Casper. Shout out to Casper. If you want us to read a Casper ad right about now, this would be a perfect time to do it. But we don't. They do
sponsor a lot of podcasts, I believe. Yeah. Purple, Casper,
Lisa,
yeah. So there were pillow top beds. There were the traditional just spring beds. We just recently, my wife's parents have a house in upstate New York, kind of a summer place they go to that gets boarded up for the rest of the year. It's boarded up right now, but they had some beds in there from like the 1940s. And now that supposedly the weight of a mattress after 10 years is double than when you put it in. I'd like to actually test that because of your skin.
Just because there's no way that you've shed enough skin for your whole body weight. Come on,
you know what?
Man.
I'm gonna Google it right now. Weight of mattress.
That's Big Mattress though that wants you to think that.
Okay, weight of mattress after 10 years. That's what I Google. What happens to a mattress after 10 years? One frightening statistic: the average mattress will double its weight in 10 years as a result of being filled with dead dust mites and other detritus. Facts like these can send even the most skeptical consumer running for the dust mop.
I don't understand that because you have a sheet on your bed 100% of the time. So does it get under the how does it get onto the mattress?
I mean, those things are tiny. They're microscopic. They go through the sheet. Unless you have like 300 thread count or something like that, they're just going right through that sheet.
There's no way. You're telling me that a 200-pound man sheds 200 pounds of skin through the sheet and you can't see it.
It's saying that it doubles the weight of the mattress. So if the mattress weighed 50 pounds when you got it, it weighs 100 pounds after 10 years.
Oh, I thought you meant it doubled. It's like double your body size.
No. Now here's 6 signs that you need to replace your mattress. You wake up sore. There's visible signs of wear. Your allergies are getting worse. It's getting too hot. You have trouble sleeping. Or here's the best one. It's over 8 years old. This is obviously the Mattress Council.
I feel like you're going to send this episode to like Mattress Mac and get them trying to get them to sponsor this.
I would love to have Mattress Mac sponsor us.
Gallery Furniture, a couple of good old Dead Ends.
Couple of good old Houston boys, right? So here's one more question. Is it safe to sleep on a 40-year-old mattress? Typically, mattress manufacturers recommend replacing your mattress every 8 years, but according to Consumer Reports, a mattress that's well cared for could last a decade. So,
well, here's what my problem though is that the big mattress will talk out of both sides of its mouth, because on one hand they will tell you need a new mattress, but what's the first thing when you try to buy a mattress? They'll tell you this one's great, it has a lifetime warranty. Whose lifetime are they talking about?
Right. Well, I guess all of that said, whether you sleep on a Tempur-Pedic or whatever you sleep on, it's probably not a waterbed. And the waterbed was an interesting little bit of our, I don't know, culture. Seems like a very North American thing, like a U.S. kind of thing mostly.
Yeah, and shout out to Hugh Hefner, who probably owned a lot of waterbeds.
Right. Well, that's another episode of Dead Ends. I did actually commission another poem, but I don't want to get repetitive. But I think this one's actually pretty good. I won't do this every time.
Maybe a limerick next time.
Ode to a vessel of undulating dreams, your vinyl skin a sapphire gleam, where slumber cradles like a wave, and cares dissolve, no longer grave. I climb aboard a sinking sigh, a liquid silk embraces high, no springs to jar, no mattress creak, just gentle sway and restful sleep.
That's very, very similar to the CD one.
Yeah, it really is. Bard. All right, man. Well, thanks for joining us. If you have a waterbed, we'd love to hear from you. How can they reach us, Alex?
Not at Dirt Nut City. And what's the guy's name?
Matt Brames.
And Matt, sorry, we're just busting on you, man.
Yeah. Well, he did introduce me to the waterbed, but not in the way he thinks he did.
And Matt, if you still have a waterbed, please send us a picture.
Yes, with your clothes on.